Hi everyone, today is Monday, July 18th, 2016. And you see this right here. You see that this side here is the red side of Satan. See, Obama's side is Iron Man's side. And you can see here that this blue side is Jesus Christ's side. And Donald Trump's side. And Captain America's side. That's why Luke Skywalker represents Jesus, and both Luke and Donald Trump have blonde hair. See the red and the blue side on the Eiffel Tower as well? So basically, you remember this Hope character in Jessica Jones, right? She's in an elevator. And she represents the woman of the Bible. Just like this person here is in an elevator, and it represents her ascending up into heaven. See, this thing here represents the moon that the woman is supposed to stand on. So Hope basically represents this woman right here. This is Prince William right here, and this is Obama, a Rockefeller, and Hillary Clinton. So, like, even this character in the Musketeers represents the woman of the Bible as well. You see her with her blonde hair right here, and you see her with her blonde hair right here. So, you even see her giving birth to a baby in this episode. Just like Mary gave birth to Jesus, and just like the woman will give birth to our immortal souls. So, you see this tally thing right here, right? Just like the tally thing shown in the latest episode of Catchphrase, when they had that Count Dracula catchphrase. Count Dracula represents counting down to the end of days. That's why this tally business is to do with counting. Like, in this Doctor Who episode, The Day of the Moon, they're even doing tally things as well. Again, it's called The Day of the Moon. Just like you have the woman on the moon in the Bible, but you also have Alfie Moon in EastEnders. It's even got to do with that Doctor Who story, The Invasion, as well, where the episode basically started off by showing the moon, or at least the dark side of the moon, if I remember rightly. So that was actually like the first episode of The Invasion. Look it up. I think that first episode is only available in animated form nowadays, because I think that's like the original version of that episode was actually wiped from the BBC archives. Maybe the reason that they wiped stuff from the BBC archives is because they don't want people catching on to this stuff. So, I mean, this here, when the Doctor is chained up, that represents Satan being chained in the bottomless pit. So, see the woman on the moon that we've been talking about right there. Even Kat in EastEnders could represent the woman on the moon, because when she has sex with Alfie, basically that she's on top of the moon. So, see this thing on Finn's helmet even represents like tallying and counting as well. This is from Star Wars. which is kind of obvious. But I mean, I'm not sure if my granddad would know that, but you know. So you see that Luke has a green lightsaber for Islam here, but here he has a blue lightsaber for Jesus Christ. And see, he wears white for heaven. It's because he loses his blue lightsaber, and that actually represents grace and mercy being taken away. And then, when he gets his green lightsaber, that represents, like, Islam rising up. I mean, I'm not sure how it's going to play out in future films, because, like, I mean, did he lose his green lightsaber in Return of the Jedi? Did the Emperor destroy it or something? I'm not sure. I don't remember anything. Personally, I don't remember anything happening to that green lightsaber. I'm sure it survived. So if in the next film he's going to have this blue lightsaber, then I hope they actually explain what actually happened to this green one. I really don't know, to be honest. But I mean, like, you know, like you have like Captain America: Civil War, where it's like Iron Man versus Captain America, and they almost have a falling out, basically. Well, like, it represents just like all of the arguments that Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford have had in real life. Like they've had falling outs many times, and I don't know how to explain this. Like most women seem to fancy Harrison Ford more than they do Mark Hamill. It's the same with, like, most women seem to fancy Robert Downey Jr. more than they do Chris Evans. So it's just the same thing, the same symbolism over and over again. Like Han Solo. Well, this is spoilers of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, guys. But Han Solo basically gets killed by Kylo Ren, the Nazi, in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Now, Kylo Ren isn't actually a Nazi. That's just what he represents. But like, because the First Order represents the Nazi party. But does this actually mean that in a future Marvel film, Iron Man's gonna die? Because let's just be clear about this, right? Han Solo represents Iron Man, and then Luke represents Captain America. Just as Mark Hamill represents Chris Evans, and Harrison Ford represents Harrison Ford represents Robert Downey Jr. So, I mean, even this H in his name represents the Hadron Collider and the Harp machine. See, HA it starts with. We were just talking about Kylo Ren. See, these two things on his lightsaber actually represent two dragon wings. Because Kylo Ren represents the dragon. See the dragon coming after the woman. See the woman right there? Now, Donald Trump has two sides to him. He has a good side and a bad side. When he's good, he wears a blue tie for Jesus Christ, and when he's bad, he wears a red tie for Satan. So sometimes Donald Trump represents Jesus Christ, but other times he represents Satan. So sometimes he represents Kylo Ren. Because, like, Donald Trump's campaign is basically like Nazism. Just like the First Order is like Nazism. like Hydra and Specter are basically like the Nazi Empire. That is why this Specter diagram was shown in the Empire magazine. See the red for Satan there? See the white for heaven there? And see the black for the darkness there? See the 5 for the fifth age? And April is the month that I was born in. So, this even goes like an Illuminati pyramid. Like you have the richest people up top, and then you have the poorest people down the bottom. Like like this person could represent Michelle Obama, and then these people could represent Obama. Because see, like if I just scroll along to here again, right? You see he's wearing a red hat for Satan, and this guy's got blonde hair. Just as the Nazis thought that people with blonde hair were superior. And then, haven't I always said that Obama's probably down the bottom of this pyramid because he's just basically a puppet? Most of the world think he's way up there on top. No, there's people pulling the strings above him. And here is Satan, the clown, right up top. See Blofeld? See him right up top there. See him right up top there. See that he's bald there. And see that he's bald here, but you can't actually see it properly because he's actually got a wig on. But, yeah, whatever. Okay, so, if we scroll across to here, you see this guy's only got one eye because one of his eyes was basically, well, I don't know what happened to his other eye, but clearly something's happened to it, otherwise he wouldn't have this eye patch. But, see the one eye there? See the one eye there? So you get the point with that. Now, this Yavin 4 temple in Star Wars A New Hope, right? It basically used to be a Sith temple. And as we know, Sith represents Satan. Like, even Darth Maul had red on him for Satan, but he also had black on him for the darkness. And obviously, Darth Vader is totally black for the darkness. I mean, even these rebels, right? Because the rebels basically, like, take over this temple and they make it their base of operations because this temple was used by the ancient Sith. Just like you have the ancient Egyptians. And you see, like, the rebels wear white for heaven and blue for Jesus Christ because they're on Jesus Christ's side. And then all of this greenery is all around because it represents Islam rising up. And then this is actually on a planet called Yavin 4, which actually represents the fourth age that we're in at the moment. But there's a temple in the first Star Wars film ever. Just as Luke went to the temple in the new Star Wars The Force Awakens film on the islands that he was on. See Evie O'Connell in the Mummy films. She represents a woman of the Bible because of her brunette hair. See her sexy feet and her soles. See, in this particular movie, Diane Kruger has her feet basically like basically this Nazi like worships at her feet. Because all of the evil people have to worship at our feet when we go to heaven.